You can just maybe I can get like another chair.
Let's go get, hey, Frank, let's get one of those that's got multiple connections all the way down here, and then on the one behind it too. Thanks, Frank.
Ah, here comes the male mouse, a power.
Woo!
And then we can plug those in. We'll have power in a little bit. We don't have to this table right now.
I generally haven't thought of them as individuals. I see them as a whole.
Chad was just laughing about that. Like I told you, man.
And they also sort of following this along.
If you go to we don't actually have power to here yet, but we'll in a few minutes. So.
That's your progress.
This was an extra table that got set up, and there are more of you. You got to register ahead of time.
I did?
You did? I think there are a bunch of them.
There's minor differences between but I don't see a whole lot of difference. And I emphasize a lot on civil liberties and privacy. Very rarely talk about that. I don't mind what happens.
This is the downtown area. I walked grabbed my coat. I didn't know how to get in the skyway.
This whole idea that habeas corpus is not well respected in government now is and they've done free. They killed 3 one of these persons was killed. A lot of these, it's pretty evident he was probably involved. I think the laws, this is something that they're talking about. But they said, well, his son was involved too. We got to get his son. So they sent another one a week later, and found his son. And then all of a sudden they found out they'd been embarrassed. Now they're going to talk about it. But his son was 16. He was barbecuing outside with his best friend. And that's the kind of thing going on. And that's not what it's all about. They say, well, we have to spread our goodness around the world. Well, I think we should. We have a lot of good qualities, and we should. Set a good example. People wanting to emulate us. Right now, this is a girl gun won't work. So for that reason, I pull them all together and pull off. That's a very real question. How do you get people to go along and get them aggressively with what I'm talking about, especially since either side really wanting to cut. But I don't think there's a need. A lot of people talk about you need more bipartisanship, but in a way, you get too much bipartisanship because they agree on all these things that I'm complaining about. But by winning the election, Congress will change its nature. There will be a lot of new members. There were a lot of new members, and there's a lot of good people we elected this time go around, but they're still in the minority. So, but the sentiment will be, people in Washington, they don't have strong beliefs. Think about that. They don't have conviction. They have one conviction. How do I get reelected? So if they're only going to get reelected by doing the right thing, then the environment will change. But I have, over the years, been able to work with coalitions, which is a little bit different than just, working with other people and decide we're supposed to sacrifice half their belief. But on the foreign policy, we have a coalition in Congress that's trying to get the troops home and not let anybody go to war without a declaration. Like Libya, we went to war not even with the Congress. It was, we had a NATO. So yes, working with people on civil liberties, I can work with both sides. Now there's a growing number of Republicans now that are interested in it. Democrats are better on that issue. Foreign expenditures are good. But if you sentiment right now, this week we had a couple votes for deregulation of small businesses, and it was being passed overwhelmingly by both sides. So I think the economic conditions and the need for this, you do have to be persuasive. And since I don't come across as stereotyped, yet I'm sort of going with blinders, and I do whatever the Republican Party says they stand for. So I think that I have a much better chance to work with different groups of people and bring them. About immigration and on the Dream Act, I can tell you what I think of immigration is a major problem. I think it's, I've read a fair amount of this in the last book I wrote on political mind. I spend more time on it, but I can try to summarize it the best I can. I think the economy is sort of part of the problem. The welfare state distorts labor markets here. And the welfare state also requires, in our country, the federal government requires your state, any state, to provide free medical care and free education on illegal immigrants. And you've heard some of that in the debates in Texas and California and other places. They are actually forced to give benefits to illegals. I don't think the federal government should ever put any mandates on the states. So I'm not for that. I would like to see better border patrol and immigration services. I still get, it's a misnomer, crisis. I still get people from some industries, they don't have enough people because they're not well trained. We have a lot of people wanting to work, but they're not well trained and our system doesn't work. So we need to do something about that. I would not give citizenship to people who come here illegally, but it's also pretty certain that no matter what you hear on the stage and how hard they want to be tough on immigration, there are 15 million illegal immigrants in this country. They're not going to be rounded up. Let me tell you. So we should have a way of identifying, not giving them citizenship, but also trying to work to get them to work in the workforce. And we need better operations on our borders to do that. So I've always complained that we spend a lot of money and lives worrying about the border between Pakistan and Afghanistan than we do on our own borders. And I would say that some of those resources should be spent that way. In a way, I incorporated that into my answer that we can't send them home. We should incorporate them, identify them, and work them into the system. I've seen some of that in Texas. I've had somewhere they've lived here for 18 years. Technically, they were illegal. Probably don't speak very good Spanish, Americans. So no, that has to be worked out. But still, say that everybody comes here illegally, citizenship qualified for all our welfare programs. That's a big difference. But no, I think that can't work. If healthcare our economy is what college. What I'm afraid of is that when economies go down, there always has to be a scapegoat. Right now, these demonstrations on Wall Street, sometimes it looks like the scapegoat people who make money. Now, some people made money with bailouts. I don't like that. What if you made money honestly? They become the scapegoats too. But I think that immigrants, illegal immigrants, they receive a lot of hostility now as if they caused the whole problem. But I just think it would be less of a problem if we had a freer market and a healthier economy and rules that were more clarified. But to take somebody that's lived here for 18 years and think that we're solving the problem of America by putting them on an airplane and send them off someplace, I couldn't understand.
I'm not going to speak up. I know, I want to thank you for voting for the Don't Go right back in 2010, but during one of the presidential debates, all of the candidates went silent up there, but Do you condemn that? Or do you condemn sexual I mean, every presidential candidate has been fighting for that.
Well, the reason don't ask, don't tell, it was a challenge because some people, didn't like that vote. The reason I vote that way is because of my understanding of what rights are. Rights. I don't like this idea of calling it gay rights or women's rights or minority rights. We have rights as individuals, and I don't want people to be punished or reported because they belong to a certain group. Now, and I've often talked about the military. I made a statement, and I don't have the statistic, but I bet I'm correct, that there are probably more heterosexual problems in the military than homosexual problems in the military, just because of the numbers. And there are, there's a lot of harassment going on in pregnancies and everything else. But I think each and every one should be treated the same way. If you break the rules, or you're an individual, if you break the rules, you should be punished or whatever. But to say that somebody should either have benefits or punishments because they believe because of some law, we should always be treated as an individual, and we can avert getting into some of these problems by saying for so long, minorities were penalized in this country, but flipping it over and saying that